Hi, Jeff Cunningham here with Alliance. I'm at one of Unilock's facilities, and today we're going to be showcasing the G2 𝐸 Polymeric Sand and how to install it with all of Unilock's products using the appropriate tools and procedures to complete a successful installation. So getting a little closer in on here, you can see that the bedding material we constructed is an open graded material, totally free of fines. Great for allowing water to transfer through your profile, giving it a frost-free base. Also, we want to squash any disbelief that polymeric sand isn't compatible with it, which we will show you today that it is compatible with open graded material. All right, so some of the environmental conditions or site conditions you absolutely must have during a poly sand install is dry pavers or slabs. So we got a ton of rain last night, overnight, and one great field test to check is to look at the side profiles of the pavers that they're not wet, because that would hold up the polymeric sand from being able to flow down into the joint properly. Another great benefit that we talked about earlier, using an open graded material that is allowing water to get right through that profile, allowing you to do a poly sand install all that much sooner. So not a bad idea to grab that leaf blower at this point before you pre-compact your pavers. Just clear the whole area of the debris. Construction sites are dirty, messy places, and you don't want to grind that stuff into the surface of the pavers. So we're going to get right into our pre-compaction, setting the pavers, these Beacon Hill slabs, into place. And we're going to feature this really cool machine, the Weber roller compactor. This one's the VPR 700 in particular. All right, so we've done our pre-compaction already, leveling out these pavers. I'm just running my hand across the surface, and there's not really an area that I'm catching on here, so it's really important for a proper installation. 𝐸𝐨𝐵𝐸 recommends that. We are going to open this bag of G2 𝐸 with the Rapid Set technology. This polymeric sand is going to set up in 15 minutes. Very important. I think there's some myth within the industry whether to spread or just dump one pile. Definitely best practice to spread over the area. And why we do that is we don't want the finest part of the polymeric sand to fall into the joints first and be left with the larger granules at the end of your sweeping. So what Jason is doing here is the proper way to spread a bag out over the project. This polymeric sand is good for traditional base, open graded materials, overlays, when you have a non-drainage base, ultra base perhaps, or even just a solid concrete subdeck that's below your pavers, natural stone, slabs. I just want to highlight how clean G2 actually is to work with. When we brought this sand out to the market, our big standalone feature with this is that it is virtually dust-free. So you saw it when it was being dumped out. Jason was dumping the bag of sand out. There was almost no dust whatsoever. It's so clean that if you're using a fine bristle broom like these guys are using, you can almost get away with not using a blower, but it depends on textured surfaces and, you know, the products that you're working with. We swept all of the polymeric sand off the top of the Beacon Hill. Really important to do that so you're not grinding the polymeric sand into the surface, scratching the surface, and vitally important when using textured products. We're now going to add some more to fill up those joints. Again, spreading it over the entire surface. And you can see there's virtually no dust with this G2. It's pretty incredible. Notice how these joints here, the sand is actually about 1/8 of an inch below the top of the chamfer, not 1/8 of an inch below the top of the paver. It's really important to not to overfill the joints. So at this point, it would be typical to blow off the pavers. But with G2, it's so clean, you don't even have to use a blower at this stage. Maybe with some textured pavers, this could come in handy, but we're ready to activate this polymeric sand now with some water. Don't wait for the rain to activate your polymeric sand. Don't just stick your thumb on the end of a garden hose. Get yourself the proper nozzle to activate the polymeric sand. So shower setting with G2, it's super important now with the rapid set technology. It's got to be set on a shower, not a mist. Mist was the way we used to do it in the olden days. Now with G2, you're really going to saturate these joints. Little soaps and suds that you see there, not to worry whatsoever. A lot of people think that might be the polymers that are leaving. It's actually called a surfactant. So what it is, it's an unhydrated soap within polymeric sands. It's a vehicle to allow water to move to the top of the joint, making the top of the joint the strongest part. At 0 degrees Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit and above, this polymeric sand will start its activation. It'll be rain safe after 15 minutes. It's not necessary to blow off the residual water, but if you have it and you want to use it, feel free. Just be mindful not to disturb the sand in the joint and blow it out of the joint onto the surface. So this brand new version of G2 with rapid set technology will set up in 15 minutes. What you're going to find after it starts to set is it's intact, it's a little bit rubbery, but over time it's going to become quite rigid yet flexible in the environment. So what you're going to find on the 2019 version of the G2 bags is a sticker showing our rapid set technology, allowing it to set in 15 minutes, and our OSHA compliance and our gradation of ASTM C144.